Sun sets on the Raider Nation. I'm here at Allegiant Stadium to light the Al Davis Memorial Torch in honor of and tribute to Jim Otto, the original Raider. The entire Raider Nation's thoughts and prayers go out to Jim's wife Sally and the entire Otto family. Jim, may you rest in peace.
Commitment to excellence, pride and poise, the greatness of our football team were not only exemplified by Jim Otto, but for more than a decade, he was the standard of excellence by which centers were judged in professional football.
He was one of the toughest players that ever played football. I mean, you talk about blood and guts. That guy would be banged up, he would be bleeding in a huddle, blood dripping down through his face mask. Jim Otto was your ultimate all-pro.
I did everything against a lot of these guys to be the best I could and give them a real pain in the neck. That's what I tried to do every time I played. I'm not the best there is, but I'll fight anybody that thinks they're better.
Jim was a great leader. He's working his quarterbacks. He's talking to the coaches. He's talking to the defensive guys that are about to go onto the field. He's talking to the special team guys.
Make a break out there, gang. Come on, babe.
If you were down, he'd pick you up. He made you feel like $1 million. Jim Otto, double O, the ultimate Raider.
This is the Raiders Raw Port. And tonight, we're not going to get into any shenanigans. We're not going to do no imitations. What we're going to do is pay homage to one of the last original Raiders, the original Raider, the man that epitomized what it was to be a Raider through and through. And that was 00 himself, the center, Hall of Fame center, one of the greatest O-lines ever. Jim Otto passed away earlier today. And if you are a Raider for as long as I've been a Raider, and I know guys, there's other guys that have been there longer than me, you feel this, right? This guy was one of the, not just to say he was tough as nails and he was tougher than anyone, but this guy played in an era where it was anything goes. He had over 74 surgeries related to his football playing days, and including having one of his legs amputated at the end of his career. That's how hard this guy played, okay? He played in 210 straight regular season games to begin and end his amazing career, man. It included 12 AFL All-Star Pro Bowl selections, 12, to go along with another 10 All-Pro selections prior to his 1980 enshrinement into the Hall of Fame. This guy was Mr. Raider. He was a living legend. You know what I mean? Like, he played in a total of 308 games as a Raider. Last of the original Raiders participated in 9 AFL All-Star games. You know what I mean? This guy brought it. This guy, every time he was out there, he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the fastest, but Jim Otto was a tough son of a gun. This man was a tough son of a gun. He was an Al Davis type of guy. You know what I'm saying? This man was the epitome of what it was to be a Raider. Tough, strong, play like hell, take no shit, and every time you go on that field, you leave nothing on the field. It stays on the field. Everything you've got stays there. Jim Otto did that. He did it. He is Mr. Raider personified. We lost a great today, Raider Nation. And for those younger Raiders, that don't know about him, look him up. I'm gonna play a little something for you guys here. So if you've never seen it, you can get a little bit of knowledge on who 00 was. He wore the number 00 because his last name was Otto and his nickname was Ott. So it only fit to wear the 00. But this guy played like a beast. He's one of them old school, no nonsense, I don't give a fuck, I'm coming at you and I'm gonna hit you in the mouth. And he was hit many times in the face. He had a broken nose. He played with a broken nose many times every year. You know what I'm saying? Jim Otto, the last of the original Raiders from the AFL, the last, has passed away, as you well know. He's gone, folks. And I think this is going to fuel the Raiders, the squad. It's not going to be one of those rah, let's go win one for Jimmy. No. It's going to bring out a level of Raiders shit that I don't think we've seen in a long time. That's just how I feel. And with that being said, we're going to get into this. Excuse me. I was a little bit choked up before the video, so I apologize, but we're going to get into this. And we're going to get moving with this because I want you, for those who don't know, I want you to know just a little bit more about Jim Otto than maybe you knew yesterday. Because being a Raider fan, it is very important to know who this man is, what he represented, where he came from, and the way he played the game, and how much he loved Al Davis and the Raiders. Raiders Rawport, Mitchell Ben's in the house, and we're doing it like only we can as we pay homage to a fallen Raider legend. The one and only, the man, the myth, Mr. Raider himself, Jim Otto.
Madden is screaming at Jim Otto, come on, get to him, for crying out loud. I looked up at Madden and I said, Coach, he's not fast enough. The following year, we're playing out in Oakland. He hits me, undresses me, and I am absolutely out cold. And John Madden looks down at me and he says, well, Bergie, is he fast enough now? And I go, uh-huh. 00s, when you see 00s, it's not good at all. You want to stay away as far as you can from the 00 man. This guy was awesome, a demon with a killer's instinct.
Yeah, you heard right, folks. He said a demon with a killer's instinct. Wow. And that's what it took to win back in them days. That's what it took to do the job that he did. This guy was no nonsense. Yo, rest in peace, Jim Otto. Let's keep this rolling. Raider Nation, if you're watching, hey, thank you for being here. Let's get this rolling.
Jim Otto had what I call the 6-inch punch. Just before impact, he would be able to coil his body and really rip into you. Now, a middle linebacker, defensive players, we don't feel ouch, ooh, hurt, and pain. But let me tell you what, when Jim Otto hits you, guess what? It hurts.
I've never been afraid of anything. I could play against King Kong, I think, and we'd have a battle.
You know, I think the face mask was probably bent a little bit. He had kind of like a little hook in his nose.
My nose would be broken all year long. It would just get broken each game. I get pushed on one side of my face, then on the other side of my face.
He ran kind of funny. He had a little bit of a pot gut.
My number 00 came from a nickname, and it was Ott.
And Mr. AFL 00 Jim Otto, the 9-year All-Pro center.
They called me Buckethead because I had a helmet size 8 1/8. I had a very large head.
If you know anything about sports and you know anything about camaraderie, right? Whether you make it to the NFL or you're just playing high school, college, or even just after school on the field just because you love it. We always had nicknames for each other, and some guys had numerous nicknames, right? And the old school nicknames are dope, and I miss that stuff. Let's keep this rolling. Jim Otto, Mr. Raider, rest in peace, baby. Raider Nation, we lost a great one today, but now we've even got more motivation than before to be great once again.
I was one of the older guys on the team, and they call me Pops.
Jim Otto was an original Raider, at the center of it all. From 19 straight losses in the early 60s to Oakland's last-minute win in the Heidi Bowl. He was there for the Raiders' first ever Super Bowl. In 1972, he even caught a pass in a playoff game in Pittsburgh, although everyone remembers the game for another reception. In his second-to-last game, he snapped the ball for the famous Sea of Hands catch, the Raiders' most dramatic playoff win ever. By the time he was done, he had played in 308 straight games, the most in Raider history.
Did you hear that? He played in 308 straight games. The most in Raider history. You understand that? That's crazy. But that's how them old school cats were built. They were just different. And this man was a Raider through and through.
I've had 39 surgeries. I've had 28 knee surgeries. Both knees are artificial. I've had 8 artificial knees.
We loved to play football. We beat the hell out of each other and had a great time doing it. At that particular time, I thought maybe I shouldn't have done it, but as soon as you heal up a little bit, you think, gosh, I'd do it again.
Man, Jim Otto with that blood on his face, the way that they played the game, the way that they saw it, the way that they felt it, the way they smelt it, and the way that they dealt it was shit of legends. It was legendary, right? This is what it means to be a Raider, and it always goes back to that bitch-ass motherfucker, Michael Lombardi, when he was coming after Antonio Pierce, saying that being a Raider in the Raider way had nothing to do with being tough. Yeah, Michael Lombardi, are you sure about that? I don't think so. But let's get into more of Jim Otto because I want you guys to know him a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I want you guys to know this man a little bit more.
Hit with the best of them.
This knee knocked me down with both. When I get the 2 new artificial knees, I'll be a quarter of an inch taller. There was a time last year at this time that I could just barely walk. Pain is something that is a frame of mind too. You can't allow this stuff to get to your head. And so that's the thing that I fight a lot too. Hear the plastic in the middle? Play a tune on my knee. It's part of the deal.
In 15 seasons with the Oakland Raiders, Otto started every game, 308 of them, including 12 All-Star games and a Super Bowl. His position in the center of the offensive line earned him, among his honors, a body decimated by injuries, from the 9 knee operations, shin splints, and broken ankles on the bottom, to the 12 broken noses, detached retina, and facial stitches on the top. And he earned a spot in football's Hall of Fame. Not bad for a 205-pound center who was passed up by the NFL.
American Football League came in and they needed bodies, and I was a body, so they drafted me. And it was at that time weightlifting wasn't that big a deal, and I started pumping iron, and I was able to build myself up my rookie year to 245 pounds. So Then the NFL started looking at me after my rookie year, and they were trying to get me to jump the league.
But Jim remained loyal to the team that gave him his start.
3/4 of an ounce of nice fresh lettuce on the top half of the bun. 2 slices of tomato, going to be placed just like that.
Now, as the owner of 3 Burger King restaurants in Auburn, California, Otto has taken his winning attitude into the business world. It's a simple philosophy.
Being a winner is the only thing, you know. You show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser. I graduated from high school, I was a welder. I'd probably been stuck in Wisconsin being a welder or working in a paper mill. And I've been around the world. Football's taken me around the world. I have so many memories that money can't buy that will be with me all my life. And I think that is why I would come back and do it again.
In Auburn, California, for the Coors Sports Page, I'm Paul Ryden.
You see, sometimes certain players come along and they end up where they're supposed to be, right? Like how Jim Otto was a small center, but Al Davis saw something in him and drafted him. He became what it is to be a center. He became the greatest center of all time, bar none. And I'm not just biased. This is a fact. When he said it's all about winning, you show me a good loser, and I'll show you someone that is a loser. And that's the way Al Davis thought. That's the way Antonio Pierce thinks. Jim Otto, Iron Man, Mr. Raider, my condolences to your family. My condolences to those close to you. My condolences to all your loved ones in your loss. And I'm sure you were very, very loved and you were respected all around the world, especially within the Raider Nation. To be a Raider, you had to know who this guy was. You had to know who Gene Upshaw was. You had to know who Art Shell was, right? You had to know these guys. You had to know what they brought to the game. It was that mystique of the Raiders that started with this man right here, Jim Otto, Mr. Raider, a legend who gave everything he had and then some to the game and to the Raiders. And I wasn't gonna make a video, I've kind of been off for 2 or 3 days. I was on a little short vacation. I'm sorry, I just got back, guys. So for those watching this and those watching my other videos, I'm back and I'm gonna be at you guys with a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos a day here again and get back to working. But I just felt really bad when I heard the news about Jim Otto a little while ago. And it bothered me enough to where I had to hook my stuff up and do this. Not to he just died, no. It just, anyone who's a real Raider fan, they're gonna feel this. And people are gonna be like, what do you care? You didn't know him, you didn't this, you didn't that. Ever since I've been a Raider fan, there's 2 things that have stuck out about the Raiders first for me when I was a kid. I always wondered who 00 was for the Raiders back in the days when I was a kid. I just remember seeing 00 sticking out to me in the silver and black. And then Bo Jackson taking that handoff on Monday night, the 92-yard touchdown run against the Seahawks before he ran Brian Bosworth over and drug him into the end zone in the same game later on. Those are just 2 pivotal points for me when it comes to me being a Raider. You know what I'm saying? And then once I became a Raider, I did my history check, I did my study, and I was like, wow, there's so much history with the Raiders. Just so much. So many elite, great players in the Hall of Fame that have come through, and so many other players that never got into the Hall of Fame that it should be in. There's so many of them, right? But man, Jim Otto, a Raider legend, Mr. Raider, 00, Pops. This man was a savage, and he used his body. He used his body up and gave it to not only the game of football in the AFL and the NFL, but to the Raiders organization, the Oakland Raiders organization. Not the Las Vegas Raiders and not the LA Raiders, no disrespect to them. But Otto didn't play for them. He played for the Oakland Raiders, making that those double zeros, even more prominent on that black jersey. This has been Raiders Rawport. This video's gone on over 20 minutes. I'm sorry the energy's not there right now, but I know you guys feel me. And I hope you enjoy the video. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And Raider Nation, I think our players are going to use this as extra motivation, because this stings, just like when Upshaw passed, right? Just like when the other guys have passed, just like when Al Davis died. I mean, it's crazy, right? It's crazy, but hey, thank you for being here and watching. Leave your comments down in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about it. And like we always do about this time, Raider Nation, Raiders Rawport, we out.